everybody, welcome to Marvel Future Fight here on G4G. Today we're going to go through the very last two quests to fully power up Doctor Strange. And this will complete the extremely long, time-consuming, and expensive quest to get Doctor Strange completely jacked up to 6660. So it started back when the Doctor Strange update came out, and it started all the way back here with his quests. And my god, I mean, this is just a ton of stuff. Now, some of it was, fairly easy. Some of it was doing things for a daily. Other things were using Doctor Strange to go through a particular quest. But then you had things like the black antimatter, and I think you had to get X amount of, like 3-star black antimatter, and then the worst one was to get 4-6 rank black antimatter, and that is horrendous. That is a lot of level 1 black antimatters, or level 1 BAMs, to go through there, because as you know, 2 1s make a 2, so you actually need 4 level 1 BAMs to make 2 BAMs at 2, and so on and so forth. It keeps multiplying, so very, very tough to do. And I'll show you how I nailed that in just a moment. But as you can see here, so some things were easy, like daily mission, stage clear ×2, villain sieges. But then you had some of the harder ones, like all the new characters, getting them up to a certain level or a certain amount of stars. Here, research the Wand of Watum. That was probably a one of the Nornstone ones over there. So I mean, it was kind of a mix of crazy shit and not so crazy shit. So this one over here, this was the super bad one. But while this one, I was, waiting to get the BAM to do it, in the background, Clea was all set up so that when it came to, like, that task and everything over here, we were certainly ready to go. So, I'll show you how I kind of cheesed the BAM a little bit. And the reason why I cheesed the BAM is due to the fact that by the time I started killing world bosses, and by the time I started killing world bosses multiple times in a day, other than just scraping by and getting the one, the BAMs had kind of gone to Proxima at first when the Doctor Strange quest dropped. So my BAMs were probably not huge compared to other people who had been beating the crap out of world bosses for a long time and doing Thanos and Thanos. So part of what helped is this one over here, because this one was available for crystals, and as you can see, I'm a few ranks into it. So the 1, 2, and 3 helped a bit. And the really, really big boost, the one that really got me going, and you're going to frown at this one, and you're going to roll your eyes, turn your lips up a little bit. If I can find it, it might actually be gone by now. Let's see if it is still around. Okay, just seem to maybe reload. Yeah, here it is. I got one of these anniversary packages, and this was a tremendous investment. And it really helped Doctor Strange a lot, because it started me with 800, which was a really good base towards those level 6 BAMs. And then with the amount of crystals it gave me, I was able to turn around and spend those crystals on the world boss one without having to spend any further real life money on it, or waiting, God knows how long for farming the world bosses. So that money was well spent there, and it kind of trickled downhill and continued to make things even better. So, the last stage that I'm on here, as you can see, research is now complete. I have to clear the power of dark number 6 one time. So that's the Kale one over here, the final version of it, and you have to make sure Doctor Strange is used. I'm going with these guys for the bonuses, but right now Mordo and Wangadong is capped. So they're not going to get any experience for it, but it'll give Strange some boosts along the way. Now, even with the fact that he's not 6660 yet, and prior to a few minutes ago, his gears had not been upgraded, his skills had not been upgraded, already Doctor Strange in that uniform is just nutso murder toboggan over there. It was crazy. I did a world boss a couple days ago, and I brought in Strange as a leader to boost Sharon Rogers' energy damage, because Sharon Rogers is an energy attacker. So I was like, okay, I'll bring in Strange for his leadership just to boost Sharon, and I believe it was Proxima Day. It certainly was not Black Dwarf. It was not Supergiant, because that was today. So I think it was Proxima Day. No, Corvus. That's who it was. It was Corvus. And Doctor Strange just started kicking his ass right from the beginning of the fight and not taking any damage. And that was really what was the impressive thing, is that he was very, very sturdy with the heals and the lockdown spell. So I left him in, and he soloed Corvus without having to bring in Sharon. And by the end of the fight, I think I ended it with, like, full hit points. I mean, it certainly was not more than 1,000 or 2 hit points down from where he started. So I was like, wow, that was a mistake to team him up with Sharon. He could have done it on his own. So that's how strong Strange is. His gears were not maxed. His skills were not maxed. And he soloed a world boss for all purposes. So he's crazy. And now it certainly makes sense as to why you have to go through all this tooth-pulling questing to get him up there, is because he really is deserving of it at the end. And, you know, you may get him up to 40 or 50 and get his masteries up even before the rank 6 BAM quest, and you'll still find him to be kick-ass. But right now, a maxed out Doctor Strange is certainly one of the most powerful in the game. Now we have new heroes from the Asgardian update, and I'm hearing good things about Hela and Enchantress, which to the Marvel Avengers Alliance fans, Enchantress doing well is going to make a lot of people happy. If you never played Marvel Avengers Alliance when it was alive, she was in it. She'd been in it for a reasonably long time. And she was never a great, like, direct damage dealer. And she was kind of squishy, but she absolutely dominated the battlefield with control. She had charms. She had massive dots that she put out. And she just, if she was left alive, she could wreck a team simply by the amount of control and debuffs that she could put out. And if you were not able to cleanse those debuffs, if she was teamed up with the Pestilence version of Beast, Apocalypse's 4 Horsemen of War, Pestilence Beast, or a Scroll of Runemarth, anything that could lock in the debuffs, you would wither away and die. And love her or hate her, it made Enchantress extremely popular, and a lot of people are speaking fairly highly of her in game right now. Hela is another one that people like. I think Ulik with crit builds and crit support is going to do well. Odin is supposedly taking the same kind of requirements that Thanos does, which means he's likely a monster. So, this team up, as you can see, it's got a lot of bonuses. Mordo must be stopped, all attack, movement speed, critical damage, mystic rivals, and old colleagues. So that's a really, really buffy Doctor Strange there. And as you can see, he still has 1 star left. So here's the state he's in for me. All 15s with, this is my current obelisk with an ignore dodge critical rate and a physical shield. You know, not too bad. 10-second uptime, 13-second cooldown. That's pretty good. And for his skills, he's got 4s right now. I'll be finalizing them when I get a little bit more money. It's running low. For his ISO set, I've got him on binary power, which I was lucky enough to grab. Max hit points, all defense, attack speed, crit, recovery rate, 50% when hit, a max shield. So he shields a lot. And with his own healing from the uniform, really, really good sustain. And that's, I mean, that's a full-on 8 set right there. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's not Power of an Angry Hulk or a Hawk's Eye, and but it's, I find it still pretty solid. But when you go to upgrade the gear, more BAM needed. So just be aware of that. Also, changed, whoops, one missing option. Yeah, okay, can't do that one. Changed all of his attacks to either all or energy. And over here, tried to get as many all defenses as possible. I left in a few physicals. Over here, you know, just tried to stay away from recovery rate, but didn't do anything super special. And I added 2 skill cooldowns over here. Gonna leave defense pen, might change out the 2 criticals. And the attack speed. So let's go ahead and finalize the quest over here. So I'll get a dimension chest out of that. So the demons get sent back to the realm. Ancient One kind of dies or gets sent away somewhere along the quest over here. So he winds up ending up working closely with Clea, whereas he starts off working with Ancient One. And Epic Quest all stories completed, and there is the final notch, the 6-star mastery. Completes universal awareness, all team members energy attack up and ignore dodge. Again, good for Corvus Day. And that's it. That is the full Epic Quest Doctor Strange story complete. And of course, you know, we're still left with the fact that we can do the memory missions, which for me right now, it's been Ancient One that I farm. And we still, of course, have the Dark Dimension. The Dark Advent will give you Satana bios. And the Increasing Darkness gives you Daemon bios. This is the one that I typically do, because my Satana is 6660 already. My Daemon is not. But I don't like the fact that it takes dimension debris, so I carefully do those. I don't spam them to death, because I don't want to run the dimension debris out too much. So here's my current high roster: Sharog, T2 Moon Knight, Songbird, Elsa, Carnage, Ultron. Finally got Doctor Strange up. My Proxima came up to 50 the other night. Got Corvus. Got Shuggy. Obviously, I'm going to be completing Proxima before I worry about the other 2. And I think I will complete Proxima before I go back and top out Strange's skills, to be honest. He kicks so much ass the way he is. I think it's just overkill at that point. So Proxima needs some love. And then probably Corvus after that. There's my White Tiger. She was going to be the T2 out of the new specials. But I saw a ranking where Wiccan was coming in higher. So I'm going to leave her where she is now. There's Blackbuster, Floki, Ronin, Capped Out, Satana. There's Hype. And then, of course, we have Blastpin, New Silk, Ant-Man, Widow. There's Clea coming up, Deathlock. And focus targets now for me are going to be Ancient One, finalizing Hafe over here. Gwenpool's going to get some love. She's ranked up pretty high. There's my Daemon. As you can see, he's a ways away from getting capped out. Malekith is now farmable. Oh, hey. Amadeus Cho is ready. He's getting ranked up here. Something I did recently gave me a lot of his bios. That's why he was over. There's Groot. Hopefully gonna get him some love. I know he's considered pretty good support. I've run into some vicious Mordos. And hey, Wiccan is ready. Didn't know I overkilled his bios there. So Wiccan's now ready to go up to 55. He's who I have been farming out of the specials lately. Probably would continue with him. Unless one of the other specials is super close to a rank up. I'd have to check. Here's the new uniform for Thor. So let's see. Misty, who are the new specials here? I just have to take a look. So White Tiger was my target, moved on to Wiccan. Wiccan's now capped. Songbird's capped. I don't know. I'd have to check where Squirrel Girl's power ranking is right now. If she's not too high, I think I would continue to stick with Wiccan and cap him out. But I focused Songbird first, and I'm happy with it. I really thought I was going out on a ledge there, in going for her. And it turned out that it was actually a very good choice. She's pretty strong, super mobile. I mean, one of the fastest characters when you control that I've ever seen in the game. She just glides, and she's like a turret. Some people have likened her to an X-Wing, but it's like she's just a turret. She sits in one spot and shoots everything to death. So got a hit point one there. Alright, so that is all for me tonight. Hopefully a relatively short one over here. Finally glad I'm done with Doctor Strange. Other news today, I did this for the first time, beat it. It was pretty easy. I think I just threw a super team at it, because I didn't think I would get multiple clears. So it got Sharog and Carnage and Elsa. It was relatively easy. Black Dwarf is still a dick. But maybe in the future I'll have multiple kills on that. But I just wanted to nail down a solid one today. There's Ulik. Definitely think he's going to be great with crit builds and like crit leadership and everything. Going to be looking forward to building him. And Hela and Enchantress. I know Fandrel's going to be last place. Still undecided where Hogun and Volstagg and the new uniform Thor are going to come in. So, thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Let me know how you're doing with your Doctor Strange and if you're getting close or not. Peace out.